Hey Swifties! Welcome to a brand new episode of Swiftie School, where together we walk Clownelia Street covering the latest news and Easter eggs from our fearless leader, Taylor Swift. I'm your host, Reagan Bailey, and it is enchanting to have you here. Now that we're out of the woods, let's get into today's episode.
It's another great day to be alive at the same time as Taylor Swift. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. As always, this episode is just an expression of my thoughts and opinions and is in no way associated with Taylor Swift or Taylor Nation. Hi, guys. How are we doing? How are we feeling? I am so excited to be chit-chatting with all of you. We have a few housekeeping things to get to, from the Chiefs games to the final Eras Tour shows. We've got Grammy nominations that have rolled in. So let's go ahead and just dive headfirst fearless right into it. I want to talk with you guys a little bit about football because, heyo, we are NFL fans around here. Recap of recent events. So most recently, we had the Chiefs versus Broncos game. Taylor stepped out in a red plaid Vivienne Westwood two-piece set. It was, now let me retract plaid. It is tweed. I think tweed is different than plaid. Say what you want. To me, plaid is a combination of like thicker and thinner stripes and like different color variations. This was very much tweed. So yes, it was in the plaid family, if you will, but nonetheless, it was really cute. Honestly, one of her most like chic outfits that she's worn as of late, I feel. Really elevated and sophisticated for a football game, but slay. I love a good excuse to dress up. The standout item in this outfit for me was actually her hair. I think she looks so fabulous with an updo. I love the bangs. I think she's just so tall and has such long legs and neck and arms that I think an updo just looks really elevated on her. So I loved this look. I think it was widely felt that way, that everybody kind of loved this ensemble from her. So we'll get into some Chiefs stats in a second, but I feel like the only like notable, interesting thing aside from her outfit and the game, of course, is there was this very viral clip of Taylor's security guard pretty aggressively yelling at the paparazzis to protect Taylor. And it was pretty obvious that the reason he was yelling at the paparazzi to stand up was that they were squatting and to take their images, and she was wearing a very short skirt. So we love a protective king. Clearly, they have been working with Taylor for so long that they know all the tricks in the book. And while I don't want to assume ill intent from the photographers, obviously, it's good to get ahead of that moment before the images are taken, because once images are taken, it's hard to get them taken out of the internet. So aside from that, let's talk about the Chiefs stats, because you guys know Taylor is a numerology queen. And I feel like some of the numbers that are coming out of the Chiefs kingdom are just like, I don't know, call it coincidence, call her a mastermind, whatever you want. But Taylor has attended 5 of the home games this season. They have played 9 games so far in the season to date, and they have won every single one of them. Now, they are currently on game 15 of their winning streak, and this kind of goes back into some of their games from last season. But most interestingly, it is actually the longest streak for any team. Winning streak, I should say, for any team since the 2010-2011 Green Bay Packers won 19 consecutive games before they lost to Kansas City Chiefs, as it turned out, which is kind of interesting. So the Chiefs are actually the 9th team in the Super Bowl era to record a winning streak of at least 15 games. So I don't know. The numbers are numbering. It's kind of interesting. And I'm excited to see where the Chiefs season takes them. I feel in my bones that they're going to go to the Super Bowl again. I don't know why, but I just kind of feel like they will. But nonetheless, aside from the Chiefs, Taylor was spotted in New York City this past week, and she was wearing more Vivienne Westwood. I think it's really interesting. She's kind of in her Vivienne Westwood era. A lot of the Vivienne Westwood pieces that she continues to wear are all a part of like, I don't know if they're a part of a collection called like the Sunday collection, but a lot of these items are titled like the Sunday dress, the Sunday bag, the Sunday this, which is drawing a lot of people's attention to maybe some of the Sunday shows that are upcoming in Canada. Now, this outfit in particular, you guys know I don't like to really talk much about Taylor's personal life, but I will sing my praises where necessary. And while this outfit was not a lot of people's favorite outfit that Taylor's ever worn, I personally loved it. I think the watercolor-esque look of this dress was absolutely gorgeous and jaw-dropping. I think color looks fabulous on her. I think the cut and silhouette was interesting, and I am all for women wearing things that perhaps aren't flattering but bring them joy, and I am often, I feel like, critiqued for that exact thing. I don't care if something is conventionally flattering. If it makes me happy and makes me feel fun, flirty, and fabulous in it, then I'm going to wear it, and I'm happy to see Taylor wearing a dress that's not conventionally trendy, but just more interesting, which I don't know. I like to see it. But anyways, let's go ahead and pivot into where we're headed, which is the final Eras Tour shows. Can we even believe it? I have to say, I feel like there's a lot of anticipation going into these shows, and I have high hopes, but I'm going in with low expectations. High hopes, low expectations is the motto of the Toronto and Vancouver shows, because I feel like a lot of us have this notion that we're going to be getting a lot going into these shows, and I kind of feel like it could be one of two ways. Either we're going to get like bus, club, another club vibes where it's just like guest, announcement, surprise, this, that, or it's going to be just like normal shows to really round this out the way that she started. So I don't know. I'm excited, but we have Toronto dates November 15th, 16th, 17th, and then again the following weekend, November 21st, 22nd, 23rd, and then we round things out the beginning of December with Vancouver, December 6th, 7th, and 8th. So 9 shows left in total. I cannot wait, but aside from that, I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the Grammys. Grammy nominations have rolled in, and holy smokes, it is one for the girls, which we kind of knew. I think we've been talking about this for a while, but Taylor's nominations specifically, we've got the best pop duo group performance of Us with Gracie Abrams, which is exciting. But for Taylor's solo nominations, we have best music video for Fortnite, which I think that's a strong contender of winning. The Fortnite music video, in my opinion, is fantastic. I think the video brings a lot of life to the song. I liked the song a lot better once the music video came out. I don't know if you guys feel that way as well. Best pop vocal album for Tortured Poets Department, and album of the year for Tortured Poets Department, and then song of the year and record of the year for Fortnite. Now, I personally have obviously had TTPD on repeat since April. Do I feel like Fortnite specifically is the song of the year? Absolutely not. That is no hate, no shade to our girl Taylor. I just don't feel like that song defines 2025. I feel like Taylor herself might honestly even agree with that. I feel like if anything, I would put that category to Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, or Charlie XCX. I feel like all three of them had like really career-defining years for 2024. Being that Tortured Poets Department has charted for so long, I think album of the year might be between Midwest Princess, Chappell Roan, or Tortured Poets Department, Taylor Swift. Those are the two I would put in album of the year. Definitely feel strongly that best music video could go to Fortnite, since no other music videos really stand out to me as like absolute bangers for this year. But all of that being said, this makes Taylor's 7th album of the year nomination, first woman to ever receive this many nominations in that category. So regardless of if she wins or not nominations wise, this is a really fun take home for Taylor. Now, I don't know. The only really theory I have from this is that the Grammys are being held on February 2nd, 2025 here in Los Angeles at the Crypto.com Arena, formerly known as the Staples Center. So my only like theory that I can really concluding at this moment in time is just that it's interesting to call out that the date of 2/2/2025 does add together to equal 13. I feel like it's unlikely, and I've said this before, that Taylor would be like a one-trick pony and make some sort of like big announcement at the Grammys again, especially since it didn't seem like so widely received. Like people were obviously quaking in their boots, excited about it, myself included. But I don't think, I don't know. I just don't see it being likely that she would make an announcement there. Interesting, though, that it does equal 13. Of course. Are we surprised? Now, I wanted to make an important announcement to you guys regarding the podcast. I really feel passionately about putting out content that is based on quality and not quantity. And I've done, I believe, a fantastic job of showing up every single Wednesday since the inception of this podcast. But I want to be honest in that I feel like the market of social media and Taylor Swift content has become incredibly saturated with tons of speculation and theories that are just, I don't know, not true and kind of silly in a lot of ways. And I never want to contribute to the conversation in a negative way. And for me, I feel like there hasn't been much top of mind that has been happening or for me to talk about content wise. So aside from obviously doing a final Eras Tour recap, I will not be putting out too many episodes in the coming weeks until we kind of get through these 9 shows. Obviously, if there are any sort of like major new theories or Easter eggs or something crazy happens at one of these next Toronto shows, I am planning on just taking a short break from the podcast until that sort of Eras Tour finale episode, which will kind of mark a conclusion on the season 1 of Swiftie School podcast. So that being said, the podcast will be going on a little hiatus after the Eras Tour concludes, and I will come back early 2025 with a season 2. This will give me time to kind of prepare, look at the podcast, see if there's any changes that I want to make. So in the meantime, of course, if you do have any recommendations for me or any suggestions, feel free to use the Swiftie submissions form to submit those. Or of course, you could drop a comment on my YouTube or send me an email, whatever's easiest for you. I kind of want to know from you guys, like what topics are you interested in hearing about post Eras Tour? If Taylor does take a break from putting out music, are you still interested in me doing the podcast and showing up on a weekly basis? What would that look like for you? What are you interested in hearing? Again, like I've said, I want to focus on quality versus quantity, and I don't want to force myself every week to show up if there's nothing going on in the Swiftverse. And I most certainly don't want to dig too deep into her past in speculation. Like, I get so many requests, like, can you do episodes talking about all her ex-boyfriends? And I politely decline on talking about that topic. It's just not my personal jam. And, I feel like I've covered a lot of the previous eras and important high-level information that I don't want to just start making up things just to make up content. So that being said, look out for an episode at the conclusion of the Eras Tour and submit any information to me in the meantime that you want to hear, and look out for that season finale episode, and then of course an announcement date as to when I will be coming back in 2025. So that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Don't forget to like and subscribe over on YouTube and leave a rate or review if you have enjoyed the podcast up to this point. My name's Reagan. It was another great day to be live at the same time as Taylor Swift, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. I know all too well how busy life can be, and I am so grateful that you chose to stay. Now just know this is me trying, and I would greatly appreciate if you took a minute to leave a review or maybe share this episode with a fellow Swiftie. Make sure you join my broadcast channel on Instagram for more Swiftivities, and long story short, this love is real and I'm beyond grateful for your support. See you next time.